Let's forgive him.
It's
that was good.
It's fine. You guys are good. It's fine.
All is forgiven. It's guys. Everything I said, forget about it. We can all just connect on music. What's up? Just stop trying to overthrow the government.
That was so cool.
That's all. I think for our fans, they're clicking on this out of morbid curiosity, so I feel obligated to deliver.
Okay.
When I'm talking to you, I'm talking to the Iced Earth guy who's also a Trump supporter. Everybody else, y'all can just watch the hot mess and enjoy.
You need to not have too much fun. Why are you so giddy about this?
Oh my God.
You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what side of the world you're in. I'm HalfLifeSistah, and this is my beautiful, sexy, handsome, fine husband, Wolfgang.
Wow. I'm a lot of things.
You are amazing.
Thank you. Can I say that you are also sexy, fine, and what was the other stuff? I lost track.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. But thank you. What's up, everybody?
Yes. HalfLifeSistah.com for the merch.
Oh, have we gotten there already?
Yes.
Oh, I thought did we do this? I don't even remember. Does it matter? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
HalfLifeSistah.com for the merch.
You know it.
Support us on Patreon if you're not doing so already. This is going to resemble, yes, her earrings, all homemade. If you like them, hit her up on the emails.
Handmade.
All the reactions she does are her, made by these things right here. Okay, if you like them, you want to get some for yourself or for your significant other.
If they don't know my boutique,
I mean, if you're on an Iced Earth reaction, I'm assuming significant other than
just
that.
for my
not
nugget,
for yourself.
golden nugget collection.
I don't know how big of a female audience they have. Anyway, yes, golden nugget. All those things.
Listen, we did not do the intro properly. Listen.
It doesn't matter.
Today's reactions presented to you. We're a little frazzled because of you'll find out. It's presented to you. Baby, I need you to listen. I need you to calm down. Okay?
James Matthew Williams.
I want to make sure I got the name right. Yes, James Matthew Williams has been with us for quite a while. Thank you, babe, for the continued love and support.
And who has consented.
Yes.
Because when he made this reaction, January 6th didn't happen yet.
Right.
So when I told him, "Are you sure you want me to still do this?" he said yes.
Because he's a man of integrity and he's authentic. Okay? It is what it is.
Okay.
And my nose.
Okay.
It's fine.
Is it?
It is. Because we're all digging our nose.
Anything goes in this reaction.
Okay.
This is gloves off. I'm going to no. It's just I don't know. I had so many, like, I want to do like these fun ideas where I was gonna script something where I would tell the narrative story of what happened.
Baby, that'd have been fun.
And you know, you
can still do that spoken word.
I don't know if you remember the Book of Mormon where they had that song.
Dum 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 dum.
Who am I doing it for?
Yeah.
You know, like there's so many things.
Isn't that him, right? That's him.
That's him. That's my man. That's my dude.
That's your bro. That go way back.
Proud oath keeper.
So now is he? That's
there's
him.
Gonna be a lot
younger.
of shit in here that no. That's the singer, and
okay.
he's fine. He's not a lunatic from what I understand. Before we get started with that, let's get the niceties out of the way. Okay, we're doing Phantom of the Opera from their album Horror Show, which was 2001, and apparently this is a more power metal-y album. They seem to
I think you
have
did
removed their
Thank
thrash
you.
elements.
I like power metal.
Okay, so
Remember that?
So I will be prepared for that. I know they're not going to have that thrashy part of you know what I liked from the Storm Rider that we heard, but that's okay.
It is.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there,
Okay.
and I will not let my feelings towards Jon, you know, make me biased or anything towards whether I like or hate the song. That's got nothing to do with it.
Right.
If you don't appreciate people talking, that's fine.
You can just skip ahead.
It's time codes are in the description, so go ahead and skip ahead.
You're welcome.
You don't have to listen to any of this. This is completely optional. This is probably more for me than for you, so it's fine. But the vocalist is
You
Matt.
do not have too much fun.
But the vocalist is Matt Barlow, okay, and he's cool. And we got
Is that Matt Barlow
yes,
there?
yes,
Hey, Matt.
and he's cool. So we're gonna add him here, and we're not going to clown him because he's
Great
not a
arms,
complete
Matt.
imbecile. Richard Christie is on drums.
I'm just an electrician.
Larry Tarnowski is guitar solo in all songs except Ghost of Freedom, so he's going to be on this one as well.
Okay.
And then we've got Steve DiGiorgio. He's been in every band known to man, okay? So he's played bass in Megadeth, he's played bass in Death,
really?
he's played bass in Testament, he's
like
played
him
bass
now.
in 100 different bands. So he's like
Who played bass? The
Steve.
Imbecile?
No,
okay.
no,
Scared
he's the guitarist, okay? He's the founder of the band, and he's
Should we call people names?
like the name guy,
Call
main
him
guy.
an imbecile?
Well, listen, he's in witness protection, so unless he wants to
He's in
come out of witness
protection.
protection to say
gonna
some
talk to
shit,
you, man.
then that's up to you. I don't know. I mean, when you act like a clown, how you gonna get mad when people call you a clown? I just don't.
Agree.
I
agree.
Let me read you some quotes that's on the Wikipedia page here, just so you could get an understanding of what's in his head.
And what's in his head?
Yes.
The imbecile.
Yes. My name is Jon Schaffer.
Hi, John.
I'm from Indiana.
He's from Indiana.
A group of thugs and criminals hijacked this country a long time ago. Now they're making their big move, and it's not going to happen.
So let's break this down. A group of thugs and criminals hijacked this country a long time ago. Explain. Who? The people we elect, and then the people who, when we don't want them there anymore, we
vote
elect
out?
somebody else? At what point has anything been hijacked in America? Up until how much cursing can I do on this?
Baby,
How
free range.
much leeway?
Free range. Breathe, though. Breathe through it.
Okay. This is the most annoying thing for me.
What's that?
Everything that, and keep in mind, when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to the person who I get. There's only a couple people who are going to be clicking on this Iced Earth reaction. Okay, people who like Iced Earth despite what he did. It's like listening to R. Kelly despite what he did.
I
So-
can't listen to his music no more.
You have got to prove to me beyond a reasonable doubt whether or not this man is a pisser. I'm gonna piss on it.
I think for our fans, they're clicking on this out of morbid curiosity. So I feel obligated to deliver. Okay. So, there's only a handful of people going to be clicking on this, right? People who may not know what's going on, they just like Iced Earth. Who knows?
Right.
This is going to be rare. So when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to the Iced Earth guy who's also a Trump supporter. Okay, everybody else, you all can just watch the hot mess and enjoy. But it's like everything that you claim to be against and stuff. The people who are giving you that information, for example, thugs and criminal taking over, what would you call trying to steal an election, trying to rig votes, trying to gerrymander?
Right.
What would you call that?
Thugs and criminals hijacked this country a long time ago.
You're on the side of the thing that you are against.
Right.
That's why we look at you as so stupid. The criminal is the one who's going to tell you he's innocent. You understand? QAnon, right? The 4chan, the anti-pedophiles. They're the pedophiles, right? 4chan, 8chan. These are all pedophile websites. Matt Gaetz and stuff, they're trying to stay in power because they're afraid of going to jail if they don't. Like, the people you're listening to, the people who are telling you about all this other stuff, the most staunch anti-gay people are secretly gay.
Of course,
right? Like, this is the thing that why it's so hard for us to look at you as intelligent when you follow these people and you're going over for this ideology because you want to protect children, and then you're propping up and supporting the people who literally, like, you all ignore the fact that, like, of course, fuck Clinton, but Trump was with Jerry Epstein, same as Clinton.
Oh my God.
But why are you looking?
But they're
overlooking
exactly.
that?
What is
like,
this?
It's so obvious. If you're not watching the January 6th court hearings right now with the overwhelming evidence from the people who were on Trump's side.
Yes.
Alex Cannon was one of President Trump's campaign lawyers.
We weren't finding anything that would be sufficient to change the results in any of the key states.
Told the president in no uncertain terms that I did not see evidence of fraud. They were made in such a sensational way that they obviously were influencing a lot of people, members of the public.
How did that affect your perspective about the election when Attorney General Barr made that statement? It affected my perspective. I respect Attorney General Barr.
Telling you the real information. Like everything, truth is self-evident and it flows in one direction. And you're closing your eyes to all of that. To me, it tells me only one of three things from you. Okay? And I'm putting it on the line. This is it.
Do it.
This is the reaction where I do it.
Do it.
I can't tell you how many times I've deleted this from commentary from other reactions.
You're going to keep it in this time.
I'm keeping it in this time.
I'm giving you permission.
If you're not racist, and if you're not immoral, like you're not evil, you're not secretly evil, like, you know, you got to realize, like, Matt Gaetz, because he's committed crimes, it's in his best interest. And same with Trump. The reason he's going to run again is because he wants to avoid jail time.
Are you the subject of a head-spinning number of investigations? Can't keep track of all the civil suits, congressional probes, and criminal allegations against you? Then you need OneVestigation. Running out of lawyers willing to represent you? Let OneVestigation choose someone for you at random. Plus, our advanced algorithm generates an endless list of people to blame for these witch hunts. Antifa! But that's not all. Upgrade to a friends and family plan so you can track investigations into your closest advisors and children, all in one app. Evading the criminal justice system for decades is hard. Downloading OneVestigation is easy. OneVestigation. Crime organized.
So if you say, hey, Wolf, I'm not racist. Okay. Let's say I believe you, okay? You're not evil? Well, guess what? Then you're fucking stupid.
That's it?
Yeah.
The stupid part?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm sad to inform you that you're stupid. And the problem with being stupid is that you can't recognize that you're stupid, because if you could, you probably wouldn't be stupid.
The Dunning-Kruger effect is a condition in the field of psychology where an intellectually challenged individual fails to adequately assess the extent of their own intelligence, or lack thereof. Armed with an unhealthy bias of illusory superiority, these low-ability people cannot objectively evaluate their own mental shortcomings. In other words, they are too stupid to know how stupid they are.
So, if you're not those other things, I'm sorry to inform you.
Right.
Now, you don't have to stay stupid.
Stupid people are far less likely to question things, including themselves. They tend to be less introspective. That's probably why they're still so stupid. So they seem and are far more confident in their moronic, unfounded theories. They don't need to question them or see how they actually stack up when confronted with empirical evidence, because they have never done this before, and they possess not a shred of self-doubt anyway. Most people become intelligent because they have a proclivity to question their surroundings and their self. Intelligent people are generally more aware of the fact that they don't know everything. Especially in the scientific field, it is normal and expected for one to criticize their own theories and for their colleagues and peers to cross-examine them. Thus, smart people will always question whether they are as intelligent as they think they are.
Just listen to everyone. Hear me out. Just listen to everyone and watch where the evidence and where the truth flows. Right? Because it's easy to get what you perceive as the truth from a single source, ignoring everything so that the narrative doesn't change and no one challenges you on an idea.
Right.
But listen to a debate.
You saw this, especially with Giuliani. The types of statements that people are willing to make to the media changes pretty significantly when it comes time to make those statements under oath. It seems like they get a lot more careful with their wording.
The debate bros, right? And just listen to the arguments openly, without the bias of wanting it to come out in a certain way. Because that's the thing, I try to wash myself of bias because it's gross, right? And I get that no one is completely without bias, right? Because even if I said, like, I have no bias, but I believe in doing no harm, right? Well, that is a kind of bias, right? Because now you're biased towards the choice that does the least amount of harm, right? So essentially it's kind of a bias. So it's impossible to not have a bias, but to just let the information come in. I'm noticing I'm spitting like all over the place. I tend to do that when I rant a little bit, so I'm gonna hydrate.
You should do that.
And by the way, I've lost track of where I am. I have no idea where I am.
That's okay.
And that's okay.
You start off reading that.
I'm not making my life hard by editing this.
You're a liar.
You're right. I was reading his stuff. Okay.
Yes, you were.
They're behind all the wars. They're behind all the shit.
Okay, so all people are behind all the wars. Okay, so Russia attacks.
Absolutes.
And here's what why I really don't give a shit what anybody thinks here at all.
He's over it.
I posted, I wanted to post a song where I can say fuck Putin in the title, right?
Oh baby.
It's got a 50-50 like to dislike ratio, showing me that 50% of these people who are clicking on this video like Putin.
Right.
Okay, and you should see the comment section, guys. And I've roasted everyone who's come into the comment section. It's just it's like this simple concept of, it doesn't, like, someone points out like in the Ukraine there's a section of the army that has some Nazis in it. Like, oh, okay, so we invade an entire country and kill innocent people because of that. Like anytime you justify something so stupid.
I know.
How serious is that war? Is it serious enough to increase the probability that Russia, say, will be motivated to invade and potentially incapacitate Ukraine merely to keep the pathological West out of that country, which is a key part of the historically Russian sphere of influence? And are we degenerate?
Oh, so that was just the full-on neo-Nazi argument. Nice. That's the that's the full-on military acquisition is necessary to prevent the degeneracy of other cultures.
And listen, I didn't like Obama and his drone strikes. This is something I can never forgive him for.
I will never forgive him for that.
It increased under Trump, right? He killed more people, not less. What also infuriates me is if you don't like the Democrats, which there's plenty of reasons not to, then you have to dislike the Republicans because they are worse in every way.
I've never thought of that logic, but that is perfect logic for your ass.
But do you see the hypocrisy there?
High five. I do.
Is that
I'm sorry. But yes, that's perfect. Perfect logic.
I don't know why the high five just messes
throws
up my
off
flow.
everything.
It zaps my energy.
It takes your air. I know. I'm sorry, baby. That's the last high five until the next reaction.
One thing you don't realize is that the Democrats are so centrist, so center, and almost center right, that in order for the Republicans to distinguish themselves, they have to now become even more right and more extreme and more stupid.
Yes.
Okay? And the reason why you only hear Republicans talk about culture war bullshit and cancel culture and all this woke nonsense is because they have no actual platform. Because they're not going to tell you they're going to lower your taxes, right? What did Trump do? He lowered income tax for the corporations. But guess what? Did Biden bring them back? Did he raise them? No, he didn't. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have to hate both of them. But you have to hate Trump more because Biden wouldn't have done it in the first place, but once it was done, he didn't fix it.
When Republicans are in office, they never give a shit about the deficit. They never reduce it. They always increase it. So they spend like drunken sailors and then turn around when they're out of office and be like, look at this deficit. Democrats, you should do something about that. And usually that's a way to get Democrats to embrace austerity, which in turn makes them less popular, which then gets Republicans back in power. But this is an instance of Biden's like, oh, okay, you want me to care about the deficit? Fine, well, let's raise taxes on the rich. So at least he's coming at it from that perspective as opposed to let's embrace, much more austerity. He's not doing anything in terms of social spending and increasing it, but at least raising tax on the wealthy is a better way if you're going to tackle the deficit to do that.
They're all shitty.
Weak.
But one is shittier than the other. You understand?
Yes.
Well, we need it. Of course, Bernie would have been excellent, but we need a third party. We need someone to tell all these guys to fuck off.
And then wipe their asses with good toilet paper.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm horrible, guys. I'm trying to take this seriously.
All right. So, it's all nonsense. It's all garbage. People need to
wake up and snap out of the matrix.
I hate when people use matrix analogies. One of my favorite analogies.
I know. What are your favorites? I'm sorry, baby. It's
because
yours.
they're going down. They've made the move. Who
are these people?
No, again, but do you see what I'm saying? Everything that they are doing, they're saying the other people are doing. So they're the ones making the move.
It's the vote that holds America together. Belief that with a ballot, voices are heard, disputes are addressed, and there's always another chance. Countries without this belief tend to be in bondage or at war. Election day is coming, but across America, belief is under attack. Politicians who say the 2020 election was stolen are running for governor in 19 states, attorney general in 10, and in 12 states, election deniers are running for Secretary of State, which would give them power over elections.
People can draw their own conclusions.
There is no, people cannot draw their own conclusions. That's the point of the law.
Yeah, it is.
The law is that you have facts and you have fiction.
Right.
The fact is, the election in Arizona was well run, not fraudulent, and not stolen from Donald Trump, according to even your investigation.
I have never said.
Why is it so hard to just say yes to that?
I guess because I've spent most of my career as a prosecutor, and we still have some ongoing cases.
So in your mind, you still feel like after all this, you're going to discover a concerted effort to steal the election from Donald Trump and that it was fraudulent. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
So why can't you say the election in 2020 was not stolen or fraudulent?
I will tell you this. As I said,
this is blowing my mind.
Is it really?
Because the Democrats didn't make any
But
move.
I think he
All they
believes
did was
this,
win an
though.
election.
He believes this.
No, I know that. That's why I'm saying he's an idiot.
Right, dumb.
I'm sorry, dumb.
Okay.
All right, he's a fucking idiot. I have to assume that because I mean he could be a racist too. I don't know. I don't know his belief system wholeheartedly. I know the Oath Keepers are an anti-government kind of organization, right? But only anti-government if they're Democrats, right? It's like if you're anti-government, you should be anti-government for both parties because they're both government.
Right.
So you're not an anti-government party, you're anti-democratic.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So one of the founding members for the Oath Keepers organization, one of the groups that attacked the U.S. Capitol on January 6th, just pleaded guilty and agreed to cooperate with prosecutors. So it's about to get real for the Oath Keepers because justice matters.
You're anti-democracy, and it's obvious, and it escalates into an anti-democratic movement.
Right.
Surprise! Like, do you see how the truth is self-evident? It flows in only one direction. There's little stutters. You could always make one example here, but I'm talking about the difference between one example and 1,000 examples.
Trump's wide-ranging efforts to overturn a valid election led to the January 6th insurrection.
January 6th was the culmination of an attempted coup.
I was swimming in people's blood. It was carnage. It was chaos.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength and you have to be strong.
Donald Trump denies the truth about the election results.
There were suggestions by, I believe it was Mayor Giuliani, to go and declare victory.
It was far too early to be making any calls like that.
Trump pressures Pence not to certify the valid election.
When Mike Pence made it clear that he wouldn't give in to Donald Trump's scheme, Donald Trump turned the mob on him.
Trump pressures state election officials and workers to break the law.
Do you know how it feels to have the President of the United States to target you? There is nowhere I feel safe. Nowhere.
Mr. President, stop inspiring people to commit potential acts of violence. Someone's going to get hurt, someone's going to get shot, someone's going to get killed.
Trump pressures the Department of Justice to overturn the election.
Mr. Rosen, the President asked you to seize voting machines from state governments. What was your response to that request?
We had seen nothing improper with regard to the voting machines.
He responded very quickly and said, what I'm just asking you to do is just say it was corrupt and leave the rest to me and the Republican congressman.
Trump knew the mob was armed and dangerous.
I overheard the President say something to the effect of, I don't care that they have weapons. They're not here to hurt me. Let my people in, take the mags away.
Trump sends a rallying cry to far-right extremist groups to march on Washington.
Donald Trump summoned a mob to Washington, D.C., and ultimately spurred that mob to wage a violent attack on our democracy.
Now Donald Trump is calling on his supporters to descend on Washington, D.C.
Millions of Americans moving to Washington, occupying the entire area, if necessary, storming right into the Capitol.
You better understand something, son. You better understand something. Red wave, bitch. Red wave is going to be a red wedding.
If a president that's willing to try to encourage, to whip up a civil war amongst his followers using lies and deceit and snake oil, and regardless of the human impact, what else is he going to do?
Day 8. Trump relished the attack on the Capitol, waiting over 3 long hours to call off his mob. Within 15 minutes of leaving the stage, President Trump knew that the Capitol was besieged and under attack.
We have a breach of the Capitol! Breach of the Capitol!
He put a target on his own vice president's back and placed all the blame on him for not stopping the certification. More than 3 hours after he stopped speaking to a mob that he had sent armed to the Capitol. That's when he tweeted a video telling the rioters to go home.
President Trump did not fail to act. He chose not to act.
But you always sit there and focus on the one because you're trying to control your own narrative because you're being biased. Then the question is why?
Why?
Are you racist? Are you evil? Or are you fucking stupid?
They could be all three.
Well, I've always said if you're racist, then you're stupid. In order to be racist, you have to have a irrational fear and misunderstanding of a fellow human being.
Right.
And that is a level of stupid, because it's like, you know, there's a black guy, I told you about this guy, who has been converting people who've been in the KKK, grand wizards and shit.
I'm pretty sure I've
How?
seen them.
By becoming friends with them and getting to know them and showing them, guess what? A black guy is just a fucking guy.
There is one question Daryl has repeatedly asked members of the Klan.
How can you hate me when you don't even know me? They've never had an answer that they can come up with that justifies how they can hate me.
His conversations with Klansmen resulted in something Daryl never expected.
I would find things in common. And as I began to build on those commonalities, the things that we had in contrast as trivial as skin color began to matter less and less. And as I built upon those commonalities, a relationship was formed.
In the last 30 years, Daryl says 200 members across the country have left the KKK as a direct result of his involvement.
And they're like, oh, well, I didn't realize black people were just people.
You know what's interesting, though?
Jesus. Really?
Ever since the rise of Trump, I find myself kind of having some kind of racism towards white people. Like, I'm afraid. I fear white people now, and I've never really
That's
had...
not the same thing as racism.
Well, I mean...
Having a fear...
You're right. But I'm afraid when I see white people now, I get nervous. I'm not going to lie. I'm afraid.
Right,
because so many have been emboldened to speak and express their truths, and they're carrying guns. I'm literally... I get anxiety.
Right, but that's not racism.
Okay, it's not racism.
That is fear.
That's fear.
And fear
I don't want to feel that.
Fear is usually irrational.
Yes, it's irrational because I know that most white people are good.
Statistically, right?
Like most white people are good. It's just stupid. But I've been seeing a lot of stuff, lately, and it's just making me feel like I'm afraid.
Well, that is I do find that problematic because
I agree.
if you are because you can do the same thing on the left that's happening on the right, which is you can immerse yourself in only cop videos.
Which I don't.
And
I don't.
No, but hear me out. The point I'm making is you can do that and think that all cops are bad.
Well, I have a fear. I've always had a fear.
That's my point.
Every
like we know statistically that's
black and white.
Right, but we know statistically that's not the case. But that
I don't
does
know
not
that.
matter.
I can't say that.
Well,
I can't say that.
Again,
please, I don't know.
Well, again, it doesn't matter if they're not all bad if they are covering for the bad ones.
Exactly.
That's what I said because then you're always in danger because you don't know who's bad or who's good, and there is no checks and balances.
Guys, I've had bad encounters with cops every single.
Right, but I've said this. I've said this so many times in the comment sections and shit when dumb people say stuff like, when we were doing the Floyd and the riots and everything, there wouldn't be fucking riots. There wouldn't be fucking riots if you just prosecuted police when they did something wrong.
Right,
That's it. It's simple. That's it. There would be no riots. So you're talking about, well, look at the riots. There wouldn't be riots if people got civil justice, okay?
Right.
This was not a protest against the government. This was an attempted coup to take over the governments. Again, you don't believe me, just go watch the January 6th trials. There's never been, they're doing such a good job.
Oh my God,
part of what relieves stress and why I'm having fun right now is because that's out there. I can't do anything better than what the January 6th committee is doing.
They're doing a really good job. They're showing me things that I didn't know they even freaking had.
No, the level of detail in their interviews, in the people they have, the witnesses and stuff. Most of them, again, who used to work for Trump, who are Trump allies. These people are credible. They were in the room where it happened. But
see, the thing is, but Trump supporters believe that these people have been bought. They don't believe that what they're saying is genuine.
So stupid.
That's annoying.
It's stupid, evil, or racist. They're one of those things because they have to believe that. They can't change their narrative. Oh, wait, I forgot there's another one.
What?
Greed. That's the biggest one.
Oh my gosh, that's in the Bible too, guys. You got to believe that.
Religious nut.
You forgot a lot of important
So there's
ones.
5. There's religious nut.
Yes.
But greed. Do you understand how much money these right-wing commentators make? You want to talk about what the left... Right, oh my God, it is... They are... Even the YouTubers and shit are getting just massive amounts of money because people love listening to people who tell them what they want to hear. If you've lasted this long and you're a Trump supporter, you're not happy right now. I'm like, what I'm saying is grating to you because you can't handle the fucking truth, and you would rather go listen to someone who can support your idea because of one of these reasons. You know, I'm guessing now probably religion, which again, it's a lot of it. Like these three are kind of tied in with dumb. You know what I mean? They kind of wrapped up.
They are, baby.
The greed one is like the most understandable.
He's pulling me
because
into this,
everyone's
guys.
trying
I
to
don't
make
want this.
everyone's trying to make a living, man. Everyone's trying to make that
I want
bread.
to be a good person.
But you know what? Here's the thing. So religion and racism is tied in with the stupidity. And
you don't have to have your fingers like
that.
that.
I already committed that. These are the fingers that represent them. Ooh, look at that one.
Ooh, what is that one?
This one is evil.
It is evil.
And it's tied in with greed.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay. So evil and greed, because
I don't want you to hurt
and again,
yourself, though.
Globalists, greedy corporations, elitists. Yeah. We should not have a society like that. But if you believe that motherfucker right there.
They're more elite than me. I have better everything than they have, including this.
The other thing that frustrates the fuck out of me is
what is that, babe?
the narcissism, the clinical nature of his mentality.
Yes, he's pathological.
27 psychiatrists and mental health experts assess a president. He cannot be contained because he is psychologically off the chain. With each passing week, he displays the classic symptoms of medium-grade mania in more disturbing forms: inflated self-esteem, sleeplessness, impulsivity, aggression, and a compulsion to offer advice on subjects he knows nothing about. His speech patterns are like something straight out of a psychiatric textbook. Manics display something called flight of ideas. It's a formal thought disorder in which ideas tumble forth through a disordered chain of associations. One word sparks another, which sparks another, and they're off to the races. As one trained psychiatrist said to me, compare Donald Trump's speaking patterns to a Robin Williams monologue, but with insults instead of jokes.
He's gonna fascinate psychologists forever. But I mean, his
you think so?
The best one, what's his niece's name? You know, she wrote a book.
I love her.
The detail in her book.
Donald Trump's niece, Mary Trump, a clinical psychologist. Mary Trump's father was Fred Trump Jr. He was Donald Trump's older brother. Fred Jr. died of a heart attack in 1981 after a struggle with alcohol and addiction. Mary Trump wrote that after Donald Trump's inauguration, quote, the smallest thing, seeing Donald's face or hearing my own name, both of which happened dozens of times a day, took me back to the time when my father had withered and died beneath the cruelty and contempt of my grandfather. I'd lost him when he was only 42 and I was 16. The horror of Donald's cruelty was being magnified by the fact that his acts were now official U.S. policy affecting millions of people, she wrote.
When you see 100 different people tell you different stories, you start to see the similarities in the behavior.
Yes.
You know they're telling the truth because the behavior of Trump is so predictable.
The house Donald Trump grew up in was a house of absolute horrors. His father was a monster. He's a very, very competent businessman, but he was corrupt. His business partner was a front for the Genovese and Gambino crime families. But what Mary brings to this book is an insider's knowledge combined with her PhD in clinical psychology. So she's able to tell anecdotes we have never heard before. There's lots of new information like that. She's able to connect the nature of this house and what went on. This is not a house of love. This is a house of lucre, where the only thing that mattered and the only measurement was how much money did you bring in today? Who did you cheat today? It didn't matter if you lie, cheat, and steal, so long as you got the money. That made you a winner.
There's been nobody on TV as long as Trump. We know. Go back to his court hearings from 30 years ago.
Is this you discussing Indian blood? We're going to judge people by whether they have Indian blood, whether they're qualified to run a gaming casino or not?
That probably is me, absolutely. Because I'll tell you what, if you look at some of the reservations that you've approved, you, sir, in your great wisdom have approved, I will tell you right now, they don't look like Indians to me, and they don't look like to Indians. Now, maybe we say politically correct or not politically correct. They don't look like Indians to me, and they don't look like Indians to Indians, and a lot of people are laughing at it, and you're telling how tough it is, how rough it is to get approved. Well, you go up to Connecticut, and you look. Now, They don't look like Indians to me, sir.
Thank God that's not the test of whether or not people have rights in this country or not.
It's the same MO. The only difference is he's become this weird...
Because what's interesting is he wasn't always like this. It didn't seem. At least maybe he was playing a game.
So here's the thing. He was kind of a Democrat.
He seemed to be a Democrat back in the day. He seemed likable, too.
No, but the thing is the thing you realize that there's a big MO is that how fucking stupid he is. Right? And everyone who works with him on the Republican side, like when they're done with him, first of all, a lot of people have to leave because they can't handle his stupidity. Mm-hmm. But then the other people, like every single person, if you read book after book after book, the biggest through line is just how much of an idiot he is and how incompetent he is. So when he was with the Democrats, the Democrats are, like it or not, fairly intelligent people. Guess what? And obviously they're going to be clowning him. He didn't fit in with that crowd.
Right.
No, but he fits in with dumb racists. Yeah. Those are his people.
They are.
So it makes sense that he ended up here. Right. And the more these dummies support him, the more he loves them.
Right.
And he doesn't care about what they believe in.
Donald totally loves praise because he wants to keep reassuring himself. It's this combination of overconfidence and self-doubt that sort of makes him work.
He doesn't care that the people were armed. He wanted to remove the metal detectors.
Well, didn't he do it though?
No, the thing is, this is the part that is the most infuriating and scary. No, scary is that despite all the craziness of his presidency, there were so many people keeping him or trying to keep him in line.
Yeah.
Okay, there's so many things that he wanted to do that they didn't let him. Uh-huh. And that's not going to happen because he's going to surround himself with crazy people like him. That's why everyone's so damn scared of, another term with him. And it's just so weird how in 2022, people are supporting Trump and don't get any of this. Like, they don't see any of this because of one of these 5 reasons.
Yeah.
And again, if you're none of these other things, then you're the dumb one. You're the dumb one. I don't know how you cure stupid, though. That's the only problem.
The way to break out of the habit takes bravery and a level of humility that is uncommon in most people. We have to ask for feedback from a trusted source and be prepared for an honest response. What we now call the Dunning-Kruger effect is what the scientists used to call metacognition, thinking about thinking. Perhaps the less we know about a topic and the simpler it appears, the easier it is to ascribe some sort of understanding of it. We must be careful. We could well be one of the many Dunning-Kruger sufferers walking around blissfully ignorant of our ignorance.
Love and compassion, maybe? But I don't know. If you haven't noticed, I'm kind of past that at this moment. Sorry, guys. So
they're messing with the wrong people here. Trust me on that. And we needed it to be open like this. Open fraud, open theft. Because now we see you, and you're going down.
And you're going down. Yes, except you. Burp.
Mark my words.
So he was one of the first people to do a plea deal and basically...
Him?
Yeah, plead guilty, and he's one of the very first people.
Why hasn't he spoken?
I told you, he's a witness protection. People want to kill him.
Who wants to kill him? The people that are on Trump's side because he took a plea deal?
You can Google this. There's a clip where when Trump was thinking about doing something good.
Glenn Beck opened up his show to Trump supporters in his audience with the promise that he would not argue with them. He would simply wanted to hear what they were thinking and why.
As long as he does the basic things, the foundational things, which is build a wall, he's not going to have people like me coming after him. Because if he doesn't do what he said...
So if he doesn't build a wall, like China, then he's in trouble. It's the wall that is your line. Okay.
Oh, he's in so much trouble you don't even understand the backlash of us.
Oh, I think I do.
Once we're so frustrated and angry and tired of all the political stuff, we're going to come after him personally. You know what I mean? We're going to get him.
I don't know what you mean. Hang on. What does that mean?
This was early on. There were times when Trump almost did the right thing because...
I felt that a couple of times.
Because he doesn't care about helping, but he doesn't really care about hurting either. And if he had the choice, I genuinely believe he would do the one that does the less harm because he doesn't care. Like, go ahead, yeah, let them go or whatever, right? But then he realizes he can't do that because his base is a certain kind of way and they're ravenous, right? and they say, we can take Trump out if he thinks he's going to betray us, right? Because there's this thing when you make your bed, you have to lie in it, right?
You
so
do.
If you decide to become the leader of the craziest fucking people in America, you need to live up to that, because they won't take it lightly if you suddenly decide not to be crazy like them.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
So there is no turning back.
When he first...
There is no turning back.
The inauguration night. What was it? Inauguration night? When he it's not inauguration, forgive me. The night we learned that he was president, I cried. I also went into a little mini depression. I cried. But I cried even more when he spoke, because he gave me some inkling of hope.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God,
yeah, that's something I want to... Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe he's not as bad as I thought he was. And I mean, he said, I'm the people's president. I wanted, the way he spoke, I feel like, oh my God, I hope he means that. And I cried even more.
Good. I'm glad you brought that up, because here's the rest of his quote here.
Okay.
I think this goes beyond President Trump. John continues.
President Trump is a populist. He's not your typical Republican. He's not establishment.
He's not establishment. Yes, that is how he ran. That's how he ran. So what you heard, that was him running. That's why he won. Okay? Because people thought he was that.
Well, no, see, when he was running, the things he was saying,
for us, it was obvious.
It was obvious, right?
But he was still running on a populist message.
Gotcha.
He really was. So people were hearing that. They were ignoring his racism. They were ignoring his xenophobia. They were ignoring that,
all of that,
his rampant incompetence, and they were looking at the positive, which. At that time, like right now when he's running, if you listen to his speeches and stuff, all that stuff is gone.
They never want to show how massive our crowd was. You know the biggest crowd I've ever seen? January 6th.
It's completely mask off.
Right now he's running.
He's okay, because of his narcissism, he constantly has rallies, still to this day. He's never stopped them. And they are the most ranty, nonsensical bullshit things you've ever seen.
I've heard a few. I didn't know he was actually
it's insane, and these people just sitting there.
I can't believe it.
Like Muppets, just taking it all in and clapping like seals.
His name is Maurice Simonet, also known as Michael the Black Man, a Miami resident who has made his way onto the stage directly behind Donald Trump on multiple occasions, holding signs reading "Blacks for Trump" and promoting an equally eye-catching website on which he blames slavery on Cherokee Indians, refers to Barack Obama as the Beast, Oprah Winfrey as the Devil, and Hillary Clinton as a member of the KKK.
Schaffer agreed to plead guilty to 2 charges: obstructing an official proceeding of Congress and trespassing on restricted grounds. By the way, he has bear spray. One of these pictures, I think you see him using it as well.
He probably thought it was going to be a bear there, for all we know.
Yeah. Depending on his cooperation in prosecuting other rioters, he would also be granted sponsorship in the United States Federal Witness Protection Program.
Granted sponsorship.
Right. So here's the key. He's a lifetime member of the Oath Keepers. If you'll notice in the pictures when he's doing at the rally, he's got an Oath Keeper cap on. Again, if you join something like an Oath Keeper, which, like it or not, is a criminal organization who's intent on doing shit like this. They're similar to like biker gangs and stuff like that. They'll never admit to being criminals, but there is a criminal element to it, because in order to do what they want to do, it is going to be borderline criminal, and here they've done a criminal act. This is what they've been waiting for. This is something that they've been building up to,
It's exciting.
and they've allowed themselves to be brainwashed by a complete fucking imbecile, which is why I think they must be well, you know what? They might not be imbeciles. They might have just, again, allowed it. But again, Schaffer seems like he's drinking the Kool-Aid, and he believes all this dumb shit, as obvious as it is to be stupid. I mean, think about how stupid you all videotaped your own crime.
Because they felt that they could, and that nothing would, this is their country.
Members of the far-right gang, the Oath Keepers, including its founder, this man, named Elmer Stewart Rhodes III, are on trial for seditious conspiracy for what prosecutors say was a coordinated and premeditated effort to disrupt the peaceful transfer of power on the 6th. Now, the Oath Keepers are arguing they thought what they were doing was legal when they armed themselves and planned to take the Capitol by force, because they believed that Donald Trump would invoke the Insurrection Act of 1807, which would allow the government to essentially deputize militia groups to block what the Oath Keepers believed, or claimed to have believed, to be a stolen election. Rhodes did make it clear the Oath Keepers were trying to block the peaceful transfer of power at Trump's direction.
We have men already stationed outside D.C. as a nuclear option in case they attempt to remove the president illegally. we will step in and stop it.
Now, thankfully, the scheme failed. We know, for example, Trump's coup-plotting lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, mentioned militia groups like the Oath Keepers in White House discussions. We also know that Trump advisor Roger Stone, who the ex-president saved from prison via a pardon in the days before the insurrection, used members of Oath Keepers as his personal security on January 5th and 6th.
You know, I tried to do the thing where, okay, we can't call people stupid and stuff. We have to try to appeal to their nature and stuff. No, they're fucking stupid. Every time I see videos of people trying to show them evidence and stuff, you should just see the stupid wash over them.
Have you guys been watching the January 6th hearings?
No. Somebody's pulling the strings.
Who do you think it is?
It may be Obama.
If no one was willing to turn on the hearing, I decided to bring the hearing to them.
I told him that the stuff that his people were shoveling out to the public was bullshit.
Like I said, you just can't be up 300,000 votes and then lose.
No, but that's Trump's attorney general. Does that sway you at all?
He's turned on him.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, there's stupid Democrats, there's stupid liberals, there's stupid people everywhere.
Right.
But I'm talking about harm.
Yeah.
I'm talking about harm. Okay?
Yeah.
And when there's a dumb Democrat or a dumb liberal doing something harmful, we put them in check. We get rid of them. There's no policing on the Republican side because it encourages crazy. The only policing you people do is when someone tries to be normal. When someone tries to be reasonable, when someone says it wasn't stolen, when someone says that this was an insurrection, that's the people you get rid of.
So
because you only want your crazies.
So stupid.
Then the question becomes why. This wasn't even planned. I like how it ended
organic.
there.
I get it.
It's organic.
So
baby.
happy for him.
Okay.
I think you've done enough.
So with that, I think I covered everything. I feel satisfied.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure.
So, but let me ask you,
I'm sure some
though.
dipshit will point out something I missed in the comment, and I'll be able to put that in the comments.
Now, this was his band?
Yes.
So, is the band...
They're still together. He's kept it together. He's decided to keep it together, yeah.
The person who's... The
Yes.
Nimwad?
Yes.
He decided to keep the band together?
Well, he's not going to let it disband. It's his band. He decides if it exists or not. Who gives a shit?
Oh, God, but...
Whatever. It's a free country.
Well, yeah,
and again,
I
it's a
get
free
that.
country, meaning you do not...
I get that, but why can't they just form their own band?
Well, they
and
can.
change the name. Why would they want to still be
But
attached?
I'm not saying that the original members are all there. I'm saying he is continuing his band. He himself can keep
I'm talking
the band
about
alive
the original,
by himself.
I'm talking about the original members of the band.
Right, and I'm not. I don't know. I know he himself is keeping the band alive. I don't know who's joined him. And I'm not going to even bother looking it up. I don't care.
He does not care.
Best of luck to them. All right.
Moving
Having
forward,
said all
not
that,
sideways.
I'm judging this song simply on its own
Of
merit.
course.
Completely separate
Yeah.
from the Dummy Dum Dums.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to try to do that.
I'm never going to stop loving that picture. One can dream.
Not happening.
My only fear is that something worse replaces him.
And that's what's going to happen. Our governor is going to replace him.
Don't even mention his name.
You ready?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Kind of losing my voice.
Relax,
That was a lot.
breathe through, get some water.
It's fun though.
I'm excited for the song. It's power metal.
So far, so good. They're still kind of thrashy. Drums sound great.
Oh
a breather.
The singer.
There's that gallows.
Love this part.
Caverns, mazes, the underworld and the blackest lake. Enticing danger, your passion feeds me, I'm your slave.
I love the galloping too.
Yeah. And just like Phantom, this is a duet. I hate that I love this. Yeah, that's fucking
This is
good.
going on and on. It's so cool.
She's the one doing the vocals for the female.
Okay, so this is her voice.
Yeah.
She sings very, very beautifully.
Breathe deep the darkness. Breathe deep the madness.
I like it.
I'm so cold inside.
Okay.
Mental suicide.
Beautiful. Yes.
Breathe deep the darkness. Breathe deep the sadness. Oh, Christine, don't you know that it's all for you? Carlotta's head and the other deaths I've planned. All for you to have your night in the spotlight. From now on, forevermore, you will only sing for me.
Yeah.
You are the legend, the phantom opera ghost.
Yes, I like this.
What man has made me with his hate and cruel ways? Why are you? Why am I the phantom opera ghost? I have to see. You'll never see what's behind the mask. No!
This is a great rendition of Phantom of the Opera, guys. This is so cool.
Let's turn this into an Iron Maiden song. Get some. Enjoying that gallop.
Yeah.
this is good.
I love it.
I like that.
Well, there you have it. It's so cool.
Let's forgive him. Let's forgive him.
It's
That was
all
good.
fine. You guys are good. It's fine.
I was forgiven. It's guys. Everything I said, forget about it. We can all just connect on music. What's up? Just stop trying to overthrow the government.
That was so cool.
That's all.
That was so cool. Her voice when she first started singing, I'm like, wow, she's so average. Jeez, what are we doing?
Yeah, she got wild like towards the second half, right?
She didn't sound good at all to me. But then, I'm serious. I'm like, what is this? Why would they do this? But then when she sang the second time she came around, beautiful voice, sweet. I think she was singing in a characteristic way.
No, she is, because she's playing the character.
Right, I'm saying so she doesn't sing well as a character. She's just singing. No. What I'm saying is, she should just be herself in songs and just sing normally because her voice is so pretty and so
I'll
beautiful.
have to listen to it again because she sounded fine to me.
I didn't like it at all.
I'll have to see what you're talking about.
Not even a little bit.
But
I'm like, wow, she can't sing. Why would they get this person that can't really sing?
So, Matt Barlow, he did a couple voices here. He did a couple high and low.
Now the guy's voice is just beautiful, awesome.
Yeah,
like,
he
ooh.
dominates. He dominates.
He did that.
So yeah, he
And
did
she
a
can
great
sing.
job. But I was, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little worried when they said that they dropped the thrash and went more power metal-y.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I was afraid when I heard first guitar play. It sounded it felt like progressive, but not in a good way.
No, I felt
that scared me.
No, it's funny
But it
because I
quickly
feel like I
changed.
was listening to like if Dream Theater did a thrash song. That's what it sounded like to me.
Really?
Especially since part of his vocals sounded just like LeBrie. Yeah, so it sounded like that, but
it quickly changed and the song is beautiful.
Oh, but that gallop.
Awesome song. Oh, the
that
gallop. Yes.
The drumming on this,
with-
a lot of interesting stuff going on. And it has, because the whole album is a concept album. They're going over different characters. In this case, it's the Phantom of the Opera. They do the Wolf, Dracula, so Damien. So they're doing like each song has its own theme.
Right.
And this is their take on Phantom of the Opera, the Phantom Opera Ghost. And
Phantom Opera Ghost.
I dug it. And you know what?
I dug it too.
That weird thing we were hearing.
Yeah, what was that? That was extraordinary.
So it says that there was an organ in this.
Oh.
And I didn't hear one, so that must have been it.
Well, no, I think it was an organ mixed with the drums. The drums were so crazy in the song.
That's what I'm saying. That weird thing, I think, was the organ had something to do with it. Because it didn't sound like any drumming I've ever heard. Yeah,
that was beautiful. But the drums in
great
this
job.
song.
Excellent job there.
Hands down.
Yeah, for sure. No, vocals, and of course the riffing. I mean, as crazy as he is, he knows how to play guitar.
Oh my gosh.
And he knows how to write some good licks,
Apparently.
man. Wow. So we forgive him? Yeah? No. I jest, of course. Like I said, I'm not going to let this taint how I feel about the song. The song was a banger. That was just that was an enjoyable experience.
It was a 10.
I'll
give it a 9.5.
It gave me with the Storm Rider vibes, with the galloping and stuff.
9.5. Had she come out the door, what's her name?
I need you to stop.
No.
I'm going to have to
redeemed
get
herself
I hope you're
really quickly.
I hope you're right on that. I'm going to have to listen.
Well, we all have our opinion.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is her here.
She cute. Hey, cool. You so cute. Hey, sugar.
Okay, so.
But no, she can absolutely sing very well.
Yeah.
Beautifully.
And again, she had two dimensions in her voice. I mean, the first part, she was kind of almost like talking, really. It wasn't like really.
Then her
singing.
speaking voice is.
And remember, they're doing an opera.
I'm being so mean. I think it's because
they're doing an opera. They're doing a.
You got me. This part of me coming out, and I don't like it. I don't
like
this
an iced heart. You know,
baby, I would ask for a high five, but my quota.
you want to zap?
No,
You know, you.
But no, she can say. That's all I gotta say.
Listen, I can be unhinged. You can't.
I'm-
One of us has to be grounded. My problem,
Then edit that
the
part
reason
out.
why I'm always the one who tends to be a bit more hinged is because you take every license to take
do.
things too far.
I do.
You take things
I'm
too
like
far.
that in real life, guys.
You don't know where the line is.
I'm like that in real life. I
And
make
then-
you feel very uncomfortable. And I just realized that I'm not very self-aware.
Oh
I'm
my
just myself
God.
very honest. And yeah, I tend to like take things a little too far. But I don't mean any harm.
Wonderful. We got a Confederate flag in the White House. That was great. That was great times. Great times.
Wait, you're right.
Yeah, but they're not. It had nothing to do with racism. Baby.
No, of course not.
It's heritage.
Heritage. Yes, heritage.
The battle flag of the Confederacy is heritage. Just because something becomes heritage doesn't mean that that's what it is.
Right.
But anyway, you know, just because you grew up on something nostalgic doesn't mean that it is what you think it is. It means you've changed the definition, but it doesn't change what it is.
Right, what it stood for and what it feels
Is that
like.
really a hard concept? And they want to hang
The
Mike
impact it
Pence.
has.
They wanted to hang Mike Pence. They came so close. Guys,
Man, that's my boy.
watch the January 6th. Listen, I said I wasn't going to really edit this video, but I am going to put some juicy stuff at the end, I'm sure. I can't help myself. But that's it.
That's it.
I'm losing my voice. I'm not going to lie. So we got to wrap this up. And again, come see me in the comments. Say what you got to say.
Be nice to my husband.
I know you might not like me calling you stupid, but let me explain something to you. If you called me stupid, it wouldn't affect me because I know I'm not. So if you know you're not stupid, why would me calling you stupid? Why would you assume I'm calling you stupid?
People call
if
me
you're not
ugly
stupid?
all the time.
Remember I told you not to derail me because that's going to make things take longer?
Baby, I'm sorry. This is who you married me. This is who I am.
I get you trying to make
I
a
do this
point.
at every moment in your life.
But I'm trying to talk to this man.
We can't even watch TV and movies.
Try to make him
nothing.
understand.
This is who I am.
Trying to make
guys.
him understand that if he's not stupid,
Don't feel
then-
bad. Don't feel offended or insulted.
No, I'm saying don't be stupid, okay?
Don't be insulted, sugar. Okay.
We have commonality. Believe this. We have commonality. We are against elitists, corporations, global economies trying to
The still was
keep
not
the working
real,
class
guys.
down.
It was
Politicians, I get they all suck. But you
All
can't
politicians
say
suck.
those things suck and then support it at the same time. I just don't know how to convey stupidity.
You can't, so let's just stop trying. Okay.
It makes me feel stupid. Maybe
Oh,
that's
jeez.
maybe that's the whole game plan. Maybe that's the whole game.
Stupid. No one will ever make you feel stupid, Joe. No one will ever be able to do that successfully. No.
No, but people will make me feel like this is all pointless.
Well, you said that a long time ago. I forget when you said that, but none of that matters anymore. You still find the need to, because you care, baby. You have heart. You care.
Well, that's the problem. I either care or I don't.
Right.
And the problem is if I care
Yeah.
and it seems hopeless, then it's stress.
Yeah,
It becomes
and you have
the
to
care
release.
becomes stress because it's like trying to help someone who doesn't want to be helped or can't be helped, and it's very sad. And we do this we all do this. Like right now, people are dying of starvation and being murdered. Why are we okay? Because we have to kind of just agree or admit that there's nothing we can do.
Mm-hmm.
And how sad and fucked up is that?
Mm-hmm.
And that's whatever. We're not going to go there. So, okay. Hey,
Okay,
if
baby.
you want this to stop, you can stop this whenever you want.
I'm gonna have a talk with you one day, bruh.
You know AMP React, Pedro and his son.
Yes, I love those two guys.
They
Hi,
did.
guys.
They
They're
did
really
not
nice.
on. It's not on their channel, but they did a skit with Pedro.
Send it to me. I want to see
Pedro
it.
played Schaffer.
We are live right now in the frozen tundras of Canada on the lookout for one Jon Schaffer. Who is Jon Schaffer? No one's really heard of him past the year 2000. But if you're that big of a metal simp, you probably heard of him from some band called Iced Earth. He took a double Chipotle shit on Hunter Biden's fucking desk at the... Wait, is that him? Wait, is that John? John Sharpner?
Keep your distance, you liberal fucktard.
Hey, come down here, bud. We got a stick. Stay one stick length away, bud. There's a pandemic going on.
Oh, that's some fucking China virus. That's fake news. That is some Kung flu shit.
I'd love
That's
to put...
so cool. I like them since we started. We've been doing this for like almost 4 years now, I think.
Yeah.
3 years.
No,
I'm derailing you.
First of all, and you are, that's fine. Pedro is, I mean, if you like reaction channels for metal, and you're not watching Pedro.
They're so good.
And I say this as a compliment. He is the biggest metal nerd I've ever seen.
Adorable. I can't watch half of the stuff.
He loves metal, but he not only does he love metal, he loves all the concerts and the merch and the
so
he
cool.
is such a metal nerd. So
For
if you
shizzle.
like metal, and him and his banter with him and his son,
I love those two
is
guys.
hilarious.
I love and since
Talk
his
about
son
two guys
has
who don't give
grown
a
so
shit.
much.
Yeah, I mean, you
So
basically watch him
adorable.
grow up.
I know. I love it so much.
Anyway,
Moving forward now.
That's just a random. It was just a random thought, but when I saw him pointing and screaming, it made me
You thought
think of
about the
Pedro
skit?
in the forest
I wanna
taking a
see that
shit.
skit.
And, yeah,
I wanna see
they
it.
kept mispronouncing his name.
Jon Sharpner?
I'm Joseph Shaker, and I shake her really hard.
And I'd be like, wait, who are you?
Oh my God, I love it.
It's good. It was a good skit.
I'm gonna try to find it.
I'm gonna
Find it
post
for
it in the description so you guys can watch it because I think
Okay.
it's pretty damn funny.
Awesome.
Anyway,
Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed his rant and the reaction. And if you did,
I feel good. I feel good.
he's still talking. Really?
Yeah.
I'm glad you feel good though.
I've not let a load off like this in a long time.
Load.
Please give us a thumbs up. Because if you give us a thumbs down, no one will ever know, and it won't matter.
It doesn't
Okay?
matter. Nobody
Comment
cares.
below. Do not leave without subscribing and commenting to Talk to Wolf. Okay? And please do share our content as well.
Good will get notified.
Yes, and as always, keep it metal forever, baby. We love you guys. Thank you so much for this request. It's awesome. We love you.
Indeed. And I just hate that I'm gonna have to go listen to the album and
Bye.
enjoy it.
Bye.
Look, can we agree that not as bad as R. Kelly?
Oh, absolutely not as bad as R. Kelly.
I mean, yes, he got brainwashed by a dummy,
Right.
and he did something stupid
Yeah.
that he believed in.
Oh, R. Kelly
and
absolutely
he
is the
committed
most
a crime and he
trash.
has to pay for it. But what R.
Trash
Kelly
on top of
did,
trash.
way worse.
Trash on top of trash.
Way worse.
Oh my God.
So
I saw someone commenting on one of his a video that was a meme that was
Yeah.
this is funny.
And maybe
they made
he
him look
learns his
really
lesson.
old.
Who knows?
They made him look really old. He's like, hey guys, this is R. Kelly.
Yo, killing me with this.
Someone commented below saying, I feel this, poor guy. I feel bad for him. I'm like you
that.
feel bad for what?
You mean like that?
bro?
We're seeing the future, right?
Guys, what is wrong with us? I'm hungry.
Let's go.
All right, babies. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
We're going to be talking to right now, if I could bring it, it's Congresswoman Katie Porter, who I don't know if you saw the other day, she did a presentation on inflation that finally broke down some of the information about what's behind some of this. And I think, do we have that?
According to this chart, what is the biggest driver of inflation during the pandemic? The blue is the dark blue is the recent period.
It would be corporate profits.
And what is that percentage?
It is 54%, and that number does stay that level of high if you update that number to more recent numbers as well.
So over half of the increased prices people are paying are coming from increases in corporate profits.
Yes.
Inflation is covered 24 hours a day, as it should be. You've got the Fed saying the only thing that can stop it is interest rates. And then you have Congresswoman Katie Porter comes out and goes, well, if you break it down, company to company, it's corporate profits play. Not the whole thing, but nobody fucking covered it. Nobody talked about
Right?
it.
Because if you just say the buzzword inflation, people go, oh yeah, inflation. And you
Oh,
go,
yeah,
oh
it's
yeah,
shitty.
inflation.
We are not allowed ethically under the House ethics rules to use footage of us doing our jobs in our campaigns. So I can't show viewers.
Wait, what?
Yes. So if I question a witness about inflation, if I push the CDC director and get us free testing, if I hold Jamie Dimon's feet to the fire about employee pay, just to name a few, I can't use those clips, that footage of me actually doing my job well to get elected. And of course, the only reason people should vote for anyone, Democrat, Republican, or otherwise, is if they think they're going to do a good job.
Congresswoman, let me just see if I can get a handle on this. You're not allowed to show footage of yourself doing a job, but representatives in the House and senators are allowed to use insider information to trade stocks.
Right. So that's why the House...
That is allowed.
The House Committee on Ethics is not
Oh
a
my
committee
God.
on morality. Let's just be clear.
the next point, which is, you went on the floor and you did, I thought, a really effective presentation about the complexity of inflation and the fact that there were profits driving not all of inflation. There's certainly supply chain issues. There's certainly other things that are going on, the pandemic. But you showed that corporate profit taking was up drastically and that was a significant driver of inflation.
The Federal Reserve has kept interest rates really low for the last decade. This created a banking environment of easy credit that businesses have been taking advantage of.
Anyone who says, and this is the Republicans all day long, inflation's bad. No shit, Sherlock. Of course inflation's bad. I, too, go to the grocery store. So that is not a policy statement, by the way.
When you have a party whose primary identity is lying about a previous election and conspiracy theories that quantifiably are not true, we're not having any dialogue about the issues. We're not addressing the environment. We're not addressing the economy. Instead, we have one party that's just sold out to one man and to his crazy legacy. And if we're going to get any, that's what's broken in Washington, because we don't have two parties who are sitting down talking about issues. We have one party, the Democrats, who are trying to talk about issues and trying to solve some problems, and one party that's going off the deep end, saying any crazy thing that'll get a click on social media.
Point is, what are you going to do about it? And you can't figure out what you're going to do about it unless you understand it. And I think part of the reason that Republicans and others don't want to look at what's really driving this inflation is they don't want to stand up to big corporations. The companies, the areas, the industries where there's the biggest profit margin, the biggest price gouging being tacked on to what we're paying.
You're talking about probably energy and the
our
like.
Industries,
automotive industry.
where there's almost no competition. So the more consolidated an industry is, the less competition, the more they're tacking on that profit margin and gouging us. So we have a competition problem in our economy. So that means that we need to break up monopolies. We need to incentivize and pathways for smaller businesses and mid-sized businesses to compete. I mean, we have a bread monopoly in this country, for crying out loud. We have a cereal monopoly. It's not just gas. It's actually hard to think of an industry where we don't have a monopoly when you really start digging into the data.
And the crazy thing is, everybody likes to talk about this idea that we have a free market economy, but we clearly don't. We have an interventionist economy, and the government picks winners and losers all the time. And meanwhile, the Fed turns a money hose on corporate problems.
Because they know better. They know they have crummy balance sheets. And instead of fixing it, they're looking to the government for a bailout. The Federal Reserve started releasing information on who has been given special government loans due to the credit markets freezing up. The names on this list are shocking. These are some of the biggest corporations in the world. This is a massive bailout because at some point, poor Americans are going to have to pay for this down the road with higher taxes.
But as soon as you give stimulus checks to people, everybody starts running around and talking about, oh, this can't happen. Larry Summers, God bless this guy. He's talking about we need 10% unemployment to really get this under control. Along the lines of your no shit Sherlock, I would say this. Fuck that. In the
I'm
idea,
so glad you said that so I didn't have to.
For God's sakes, the idea that the only way to get inflation under control is to make working people suffer to 10%. And I want to ask you, their only reference point is the 70s. We had stagflation. There were issues. The Fed apparently raised interest rates. They didn't raise it fast enough. Paul Volcker came in and saved the day by plunging us into a recession. How in God's name can a complex problem such as inflation only be solved by this one dial we have on the stereo called interest rates? And how is it that you don't go sector to sector?
So I think part of this is that Congress has, and even the White House, I would say, although this White House better than some others, and I want to talk about that, but has this tendency, politicians have this tendency to say, oh, the economy, that's someone else's problem. That's just the free, the invisible hand of the market. I can't do anything about that. Or they say, oh, that's the Fed, not us. Well, here's the thing. I can think of very little that I am in charge of, other than people's core constitutional rights, which, by the way, are also under attack, that is more important to what voters ask me to do than to deliver a strong, stable, globally competitive economy. I have never met the voter who didn't want that. Now, I was a bankruptcy attorney before I ran for Congress, so I do just fine in a crappy economy, but everybody else has trouble. So the strong, stable, globally competitive economy is a core mission of our Congress. We need to take that under advisement. We need to do something about that. And so I think what a lot of people say is, well, that's the Fed. Well, if you say inflation is only the responsibility of the Fed, then the only tool the Fed really has is the interest rate dial. The other tools, like stimulating competition, cracking down on price gouging, building a better supply chain, those tools are with Congress. And I want to say, President Biden and this Congress have deployed some of those tools. They're not fast. They're not as fast as the interest rate dial. Things like investing in infrastructure, you have to actually build it. You can't build it in 1 second. You can, rejuvenate our supply chains and start building chips here in the United States, and those things are underway. They're not as fast as the interest rate dial, so I think you have to use an approach of both. But this is not the 1970s. It's not. And our economy is really different then.
And interest rates are just a giant cudgel. And my question would be then, why isn't there more of a concerted effort between government and industry to publicly get together to address what is a national security issue, inflation and poverty and our currency is a national security issue. When that goes awry, we lose power and strength.
Industry doesn't want to solve this problem.
They don't want to solve inflation. They would rather see a recession.
Big corporations want to reap every bit of profit, and that's who's benefiting. Big corporations. Small businesses are having to hold the line and try to absorb this extra cost. It's
because all their costs are going up. They don't have a cushion.
The bigger the market power, the more they're riding this trend. And we've seen this. Don't believe me. Listen to earnings calls in your spare time. Listen to CEOs on earnings calls. They have said things like, a little bit of inflation is good for us. We think inflation means we can continue to find our price point at a higher and higher place. What does this mean for the rest of us who are paying? It means we're stretching our dollars farther and farther and farther.
Inflation has been devastating the United States. What a lot of people do not realize is that we could end inflation tomorrow. I will explain how in this video.
They want to take every dollar of profit right up to the tipping point. And by the way, if we do push into a recession, they will be the first ones in line to Congress with their hands out for help. The very first ones.
But that's my point. How is it that they always are allowed to get away with privatizing profit and socializing losses? Everybody else pays the price for their losses, but in the times where they're, profit taking, that's privatized, that's shareholders, or even the Fed turns on that quantitative easing money pump and allows them 0% interest at the window and lets them do and turn it around and buy treasuries, that they turn around and get a 1.5% profit on. The whole system is geared to them. And it's interesting. I was talking to one of your colleagues, Rosa DeLauro. When you're working, you're not surrounded by those taxpayers that you talk about. You're not surrounded by those families that are struggling. You're surrounded by corporate lobbyists day in and day out, knocking on the door, greasing the skids for more and more profit and more consolidation.
Yeah. Well, speaking personally, I don't have any time for those guys. And by the way, they are mostly guys. I don't take corporate PAC money. I also don't take lobbyist money. So I tell lobbyists the same thing I tell everybody. You want to meet with me? Come with an idea. Come with something to teach me. Come with a problem that you want to show me, that you think that you have a solution for, that we can work together on a solution for.
And finally, new rule. Well, we had a good run. I know that's not really a rule, but since everything in America is about to change in a very fundamental way, what the fuck? Rules are about to go out the window. The January 6th hearings, it turns out, changed nobody's mind.
You were there January 6th?
Yes.
What do you say to people who say he shouldn't have been there on January 6th?
It's ridiculous. It was the most beautiful thing I ever saw. Thousands, maybe 1 million people gathered, so quiet. It was a peaceful rally.
January 6th.
January 6th.
January 6th.
January 6th. And when we walked up to the Capitol building.
Quiet.
Yeah.
Birds chirping, police officers screaming.
No.
No.
No, I saw them sitting around waiting for their donuts.
Some of them were attacked that day.
They were.
Did you not see the videos?
I couldn't watch it.
You could watch it. Why is that?
When we went home and we were watching on TV what happened,
Yes.
I said, turn that off. That is not what happened today.
You didn't see any violence?
No.
But to be clear, when it was on television, violent images, you turned it off.
I turned it off because it wasn't true. It wasn't an accurate depiction of what was going on that day.
What was it? Was it like magical CGI George Lucas shit?
Oh, well, yeah, could be. I don't know.
Did I just give you one? And you're like, well, that's an easy out. I'll take it.
I'm not going to talk about all this.
Enjoy it while you can.
Sir, are you triggered?
Yes, you're hitting me with this huge black stick. Of course I'm triggered.